In this video, I tried beating Terraria using fish weapons only. Any weapons that can be found using a fishing rod or that looks like they fit into the category of a fish will be allowed. Will I be able to defeat Moonlord with such limited options? Stay tuned to find out. Alright, let's get started. So I have a couple of options here to get my first weapon. I could fish for the rockfish in the underground layer or the purple clubberfish in the corruption. Out of these two, the best choice would be the rockfish since the corruption is way too dangerous, especially with the current health I have. There's also the option of fishing for the swordfish in the ocean biome, as well as some frost daggerfish in the snow biome. Some of you might also be thinking that I could farm enough gold to purchase the mini shark from the arms dealer. However, I'm not allowed to kill any monsters without a fish weapon, so I'm going to have to scratch that off the list for now. After doing a bit of mining, I crafted the reinforced fishing pole for whenever I'm ready to start fishing. I built some NPC houses, and once the merchant arrived, I purchased the bug net from him to start catching some critters to use as bait for fishing. After collecting some bait, I went to the ocean to start fishing for the swordfish, but I ended up using all of my bait without getting my hands on the weapon, so I figured that maybe the reinforced pole wasn't strong enough to be able to catch the swordfish. There is another fishing pole that I could find, and that is the fiberglass pole that has 30% fishing power, which is doubled compared to the reinforced pole. I collected more bait and then went over to the ocean again, but I had no luck. I gave up for now and instead drank a gravitation potion to find fledgling wings and the shiny red balloon. I decided to settle for catching some frost daggerfish. It's a throwable weapon that has 17 damage and can be fished from lakes in the snow biome, so that's exactly what I did. The catch rate is much more common than the swordfish, rockfish, and purple clubberfish, so I'll be able to start killing some monsters with it. After farming for some frost daggerfish, I really wanted a melee weapon because I already have a ranged weapon, so I tried one more time to catch the swordfish in the ocean, but this time I made sonar potions that allow me to see what type of fish I have on the hook before reeling it in, so it'll save much more time. A little while later, I was finally able to catch the swordfish. When night arrived, I summoned the Eye of Cthulhu, and since I had feral claws from finding it in the jungle, my attack speed with the swordfish became really fast. After defeating the Eye of Cthulhu, I went underground to find the rest of the life crystals needed to reach max health. So I'm pretty geared up now. I've got full platinum armor and the swordfish that's going to be really good against a certain boss, and that boss is the Eater of Worlds. I went to the corruption, broke 3 shadow orbs to begin the fight, and with the swordfish plus feral claws, I was able to shred this boss no problem. After defeating the Eater of Worlds, I crafted the Nightmare Pickaxe along with Shadow Armor. With enough gold now, I bought my next weapon, the Mini Shark, for 35 gold. A weapon that has little damage but shoots bullets very fast to make up for it. A Goblin Army arrived shortly after, so I had to deal with them first. After defeating the army, I was able to find the Goblin Tinkerer. I purchased rocket boots and the workshop from him to craft Spectre boots. It turned to night again, so I made my way towards the dungeon to start building an arena for Skeletron. After I was finished, I talked to the old man to summon the boss, and the mini shark was able to put in some work. If I tried sticking with the swordfish and frost daggerfish, there was no way I was going to be able to beat it in time. Also, the fact that a fallen star fell onto one of Skeletron's hands helped a lot too. After defeating Skeletron, I went down the dungeon to find myself the Cobalt Shield. I mined the meteorite that fell from before to make meteor bullets that can bounce off blocks, or it can pierce through one enemy before disappearing. With these bullets, I'll be able to hit the wall of flesh directly with a better chance. After mining hellstone and crafting the molten pickaxe, I threw in the voodoo doll to summon the boss. After defeating the wall of flesh, I wasn't going to break demon altars just yet. I wanted to fish for my next weapon, which is either the toxic carp found in the corruption or the crystal serpent found in the hollowed. So it didn't really matter to me which weapon I get, but I began fishing in the hollowed first, and I spent about 30 minutes there until I decided to switch over to fishing in the corruption. It went back and forth for a very long time, but after persevering for over 2 hours, I was able to finally get my hands on the crystal serpent. This weapon is a magic weapon and it shoots projectiles that blow up and split into smaller fragments that deal damage. Now that I have a hard mode weapon, I broke demon altars and began mining the hard mode ores. Once I had enough adamantite, I crafted the adamantite armor. I went up to a sky island to search for wyverns for souls of flight, and once I collected enough, I made angel wings to replace my fledgling wings. I'm ready to take on the mechanical bosses now, so I summoned the twins as the first ones to fight. The crystal serpent did really well against this boss, since most of the fragments were able to hit the boss, so I was dealing around 300 damage depending on if I crit or not. Once the twins were defeated, I summoned the Destroyer. This boss didn't give me any trouble, and same with Skeletron Prime. After collecting all souls from the mech bosses, I made the pickaxe axe and went back to the ocean to farm some shark fins. With shark fins, I can use them to make the upgraded version of the mini shark, which is the mega shark. It's literally like the mini shark except it shoots faster with more damage. I then collected crystal shards to make crystal bullets, and you can think of these bullets the same as the crystal serpent since they also explode into fragments that deal damage. Afterwards, I traveled into the jungle in search of the Pantera bulb. Once I found it, I used dynamite to clear an area for the arena. I then broke the bulb to begin the fight. After defeating Plantera, I entered the temple to summon Golem. This fight took slightly longer because I could only deal damage to one part of the boss at a time. Once I defeated Golem, I farmed for my last weapon, the Piranha gun. But this weapon can only be obtained by using a jungle key to open the jungle chest inside the dungeon. To get the key, I kept killing jungle monsters until one dropped. Once I got the key, I went into the dungeon and opened the jungle chest to get the weapon. This weapon shoots out 3 piranhas that latches onto an enemy and it'll munch on them, dealing damage over time. With this weapon, I took on the lunatic cultist, and the best thing about the weapon is that it'll keep staying on the boss whenever it dashes away or tries to duplicate, because it somehow knows which one is the real one, so defeating this boss posed no problem. I then went on to destroy the 4 celestial pillars, and afterwards I waited for the final boss, Moonlord, to arrive. Now this boss took literally 30 minutes to beat. The Piranha gun was really hard to land on the boss because Moonlord is constantly moving around a lot, so what I had to do was use the Mega Shark for the first little bit while destroying the tongue that latches onto me that would heal Moonlord. Once the core was able to be targeted, I switched over to the Piranha gun to finish it off. Alright, that's going to be it, guys. Can you beat Terraria using fish weapons only? Yes, you can. Although it was a bit of a struggle in the beginning because farming for some of the weapons took forever. But I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and also subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.